too hot. I'm just gonna put this down. Hi everyone, I hope everyone is having a wonderful new year so far, and with that, happy new year. Today I'm going to be doing a secondhand store haul as well as some tips to shopping in secondhand stores, things to look out for, and just some little things like that. So if you have never gone secondhand shopping before, it's pretty much just the same as regular shopping, except typically the clothes are used. I say that because I have found some things in secondhand shops new with the tag still on them. And it's really all about the thrill of the hunt for that perfect item. If you are a little nervous about it, I do recommend starting at a consignment shop, just because those tend to have a little bit of, I guess, nicer things with them, and they tend to be a little bit more on the higher end of things. I don't know, but they're a little more comfortable, a little less crowded. True thrift stores and secondhand stores can be a little bit overwhelming. They have a lot of things there, but that means you can find a lot of cool things. So I do have some notes in my notebook that I'm going to be sharing from, because I will forget something unless I write them down. So let's get into this. I'm going to go over the first piece that I have, which is this two-toned button-down blouse. It's blue with just a plain white collar, and then it also has a two-tone on the sleeves. Now, the tip that I have that kind of went with this piece, there we go, words are hard, is that if you are shopping with white things, or if you do find something that's white, check to make sure that there isn't any discoloration on the actual piece. For this one, there was some browning from makeup, primarily on the front part of the collar, and then also a smidge just on the edge of the sleeve. Now, I like to think that I am the queen of getting stains out, so I was able to get this one out. If you are not someone who is an expert on stains, a really easy method to getting stains out of white is just OxiClean, and then which is what I use for this, and then I spot treat it, which is a little bit of bleach. I just put bleach in the little cup that it comes with, and then I just use a Q-tip to go over those edges again. And I was able to get all the stains out. But yeah, just something to be mindful of. But one thing I loved about this blouse was inside it has, like, I don't know if you can see it, but it has like a small button. So I don't know about like you ladies, but sometimes it's always in the second buttonhole that it starts to kind of pop open, and this one actually had just a little tiny invisible button just to keep that area closed, which I loved about this blouse. So that was a great find for me. Another thing that I found was, this is possibly like one of my new favorite pieces in my entire wardrobe. It's a very long pencil skirt. This one actually goes down, I believe it's about mid-calf on me. It is wool, so it's a little bit thicker in for the winter time, there we go. Though it doesn't get too cold in Florida, but we do tend to have colder buildings in the winter time. But I'm absolutely in love with this pencil skirt. I've worn this pencil skirt probably like 12 times, and I've only had it for a couple weeks now. I'm obsessed with it. I also got this stunning gold pencil skirt. This one, it is a little bit on the shorter side. It's not entirely vintage, but I was obsessed with the pattern. Like, the fabric itself is just absolutely stunning, and I fell in love with the damask woven texture with it. It was a size smaller than I typically wear, but it fit me pretty well. That's another great thing to look at. Try sizes that are smaller than you, because different brands are going to have different cuts. This brand, actually it doesn't even have the brand in here, but where I live in Florida, we do tend to get a lot of things from all over the country, just because we do have a lot of snowbirds. So even though this is an 8 petite and I typically wear a size 10 or an 8 in skirts, this fit really well. And It's also possible, though I don't think this particular one was, but keep in mind that things could have been altered beforehand. This one I know wasn't, just because of how the seams are. Honestly, I don't think that this was altered anyway, but it is something to bear in mind. Try on sizes that might be a little bit smaller than you. Secondhand shopping aside, I'm going to be bringing this brand up in a second. Calvin Klein, I wear a size 6 in Calvin Klein dresses. Typically I wear a size 8, but in Calvin Klein, I do wear a size 6. So different brands, obviously they're gonna have different sizes. So I recommend trying a size below what you typically wear, but then also up to 2 sizes larger than you typically wear. And I'll get to that in a second. Another blouse that I found is this really cozy, comfy, navy blue button-up. The thing I love about this blouse is the sleeves. The sleeves are cuffed, but they're also a little bit wider than most sleeves are. Because of circus, my arms tend to be a little bit on the larger side. So blouses don't always fit my arms. Like, they'll fit the rest of my body, but they don't always fit my arms. And I love that this one had sleeves that were just a little bit larger, a little bit wider, and it just fits really nicely. It's not too form-fitting, which makes it a little bit more comfier if I do want to have a bit more of a casual look for myself. But I personally would just wear this shirt with, I've worn it with some pink pants before, I've worn it with maroon pants, I've also worn it with a few of the bottoms that I have in this haul. Look out for, especially on darker colors, look out for bleach stains. This one actually does have some just inside. I don't think that you can see it, they are very minimal, but look out for bleach stains. They're not always noticeable, so I do recommend flip the collar over, check in there. Also check the inside of shirts for that. And then, as odd as this may sound, check for buttonholes. I have found some shirts that have the button but no buttonhole, and I'm assuming that's why they ended up in a secondhand store. But if you are like myself, I mean, it's not easy or it's not hard. It's very easy actually just to create a buttonhole. But if you aren't comfortable with that, maybe just find something else. And also just check that they do have all their buttons. Again, it's not too hard to sew a new button on, but it is always more helpful if they do have their buttons. And then also, especially with older brands, a lot of times the buttons are going to be sewn into the tags, or sometimes the previous owner will just sew the buttons onto the tags. I know I do that with my own personal clothing, so check that. It's just a little helpful tip of the trade. Check the tag on the inside for the buttons, because sometimes they will have spares in there. Up next are these pinstripe beige pants. These are full-length pants. And they do have pockets, which I love pockets, thank God. And they're actually good pockets. My tip for buying pants, though, is to try to find pants that are a little bit longer. I always buy pants that are longer than my typical leg length, just because I do wear heels with my pants. But the reason why I recommend getting pants that are a little bit longer is because sometimes after that first wash, the hemline will start to tear up, and it's not your fault. It's usually just because sometimes the hemline has dragged on the ground for a little bit too much, and just that last wash was kind of the last hurrah for it. But if they're a little bit longer, then you can always fold them in and get them hemmed one more time. These were actually in really good repair. These are Apostrophe brand pants, which I've never worn before, but the hemline was in really good repair. I did still get a size up just in case. I don't know, I might get these hemmed, I might not, I'm not entirely sure. As of right now, they are a good length for me to wear with a pair of heels, but I do like a good pinstripe pant just because they do help to elongate the leg, make you look a little bit on the taller side. And then I got one more pair of pants that I'm in love with, and they are just these tweed capri pants. Now, these pants were a size 10, but I can tell that they were altered slightly, like ever so slightly, along the waistline. Not a lot, but they were, I'm sorry, not along the waistline. Yeah, along the waistline and then kind of the crotch area. But they fit perfectly. I do love them. They are very, very comfy to wear, and I do love a good tweed pant. Now, this is probably my favoriteest thing in this entire haul, and it is a Calvin Klein dress. This was never used. It still had the original tag on it. This particular dress I have in 4 different colors, including this one. It's a really pretty, just black pencil dress with a fan sleeve on it. I'm absolutely obsessed with this dress. Like I said, I do have this dress in 4 different sizes, or in 4 different colors. Now with that being said, like I said before about trying different sizes, I do recommend trying up to 2 sizes larger than you would typically wear. Reason being, this is a size 8, but it was altered to be a size 6. I know that because I held it up against my size 6 dresses and it was exactly the same. Also, just the way the seaming was done on the inside, it was altered slightly. The reason why I say try up to 2 sizes larger is because sometimes you might be maybe a size 8 in a dress, but someone before you purchased it in a size 10 got it altered down to about a size 8. You're now going to fit into that size dress. So I do recommend just try different sizes. Don't be afraid to try different things. While I was at the store that I went to, I found, oh gosh, what was it? I think it was a skirt. That was marked as a size extra large. It was in the extra large section. This was not an extra large. I think this was maybe a medium. Like, they had this thing really brought in there. Another reason is because of shrinking. Sometimes if it's cotton, it's gonna shrink a little bit, and you're now like, it's a larger size, but it's gonna fit you perfectly. And you know, sometimes with older clothing, the sizes they're just gonna be different. So really, don't be afraid to try different sizes. Just embrace it. Try everything that you can. You know, don't rush secondhand shopping. That's a huge important thing. Don't rush it. It's all about the thrill of the hunt. It's all about searching and finding those perfect pieces. For this particular haul, I think I spent maybe $50 on all these things that I bought. Oh, and I have one more thing. I also got these shoes. I don't typically get vintage shoes, but I did get these just because they were new with the tags still on them. And they were only about, I think, $10. They do have some minimal staining on them, but I think that's mostly just for transporting, which I'll be able to get out with just a Tide to Go pen. It's really not a big deal. But then I also, this is actually the only pair of vintage shoes or secondhand shoes I've ever bought, I think. Yes, only pair of secondhand shoes I've ever bought. But I do plan on spraying them. I have a shoe disinfectant that I'm going to spray them down with. But I mean, I couldn't resist it. These were in perfect condition. Absolutely stunning shoes, and I love a good heel. I absolutely love a good heel. A couple of the things that I got were a few other knick-knacky things. I found a vase and a couple of frames, so that did kind of add to the cost. But I mean, $50 for, what was it? 3 bottoms, 2 tops, a dress, and a pair of shoes. It really isn't that bad. But it's all about the thrill of the hunt. Find a good secondhand store near you. A lot of times, I know in where I grew up in, the Humane Society has a thrift shop, and everything that you purchase there goes right to them. The one that I went to is just your typical run-of-the-mill secondhand store. It's not anything special. I hope you find my tips helpful. I hope that you go out there and that you explore just a little bit. Like I said, if you are a little bit nervous, maybe start out with some consignment shops first, and then move on to that full-blown secondhand store. But don't be afraid, have fun with it. You will find some really unique things there. So I will see you guys soon. I hope everyone has a very happy new year. Bye!